Welcome to the Essence of the Soul,
a safe haven for all souls.
My name is Linda.
And my name is Paris, and welcome to our episode on dreams. So dreams is really, really cool for me and Linda because we dream every night, and this is really how we bonded as friends.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I mean, dreams is an interesting topic here because we talk a lot about like traveling to the astral realm, right? And when you go to sleep at night, you are in many different stages of your sleep where you can receive messages from the other side. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I feel like we have come across a few times.
Yeah, and a lot of times it has to do with your subconscious too, like what you're going through, what your soul is going through, the journey. And so when you're on the other side, you can like kind of get information into like, where are you in life? You know, what are you going through? What kind of dreams are you having? Those are reflections of you on the physical too.
Right.
And like guidance for you to take in and see like where you can utilize those dreams as messages to improve your life.
Yeah. So we want to go into a few little dream interpretations kind of based on our own experiences of dreams as well, and kind of like our journeys too. Mm-hmm. So of course, we do actually want to begin with scary dreams now, okay? So this is very interesting because with scary dreams, they kind of come to you as like tests sometimes, you know? Mm-hmm. And I remember I had this dream where I was able to like, okay, so what happened was I was walking through like this really dark path and I couldn't see anything. It was super dark. And all of a sudden I kept hearing these voices like trying to like come at me or like scare me, right? Like all these like really loud noises. You know, like when you're watching a scary movie, right? And they have like the noises.
Yeah.
It's like boom, like da. Like it's just like, why do we need, you know, like the noises are what's really scary, to be honest.
The sound effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I just kept hearing the noises, but I refused to like technically open my third eye to see what was actually there. So I remember it was just dark and I was so scared that I was just like closing my eyes and I just refused to open my third eye because I didn't want to. But it's like, how are you closing your eyes in your dream when you're already closing your eyes in your physical life, right? Mm-hmm. That's why they say like you have two eyes to see, or two to look, one to see, right? Which is your third eye is the one that actually sees on the other side. So it's very interesting because when I had woken up from this dream, I found out that this was actually a test from my spirit guides, because a lot of times you get tests from scary dreams to really build your strength.
Your spiritual strength.
Right, exactly. And it's really here to kind of help make you stronger. Now, see, these you kind of have to discern a little bit, like, what about if you have like a marriage dream, a sexual dream? We talked a little bit about this. Mm-hmm. Or like dreams where like somebody's trying to chase you down, right? So like with marriage dreams, you definitely do not want to say yes to anybody.
A lot of times it's almost like a outside like spirit or entity that's trying to take you with them.
Right.
So in order to take you, they need your permission, and it's through marriage. And so when you say yes to their proposal, you're giving them permission to take your spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've had multiple dreams of like marriage where I'm like, no, I don't want to marry them. And like I would tell my mom and dad that in my dream, like, why do I have to marry him? I don't want to. Like, it's like your spirit knows that it's not right. You know what I mean? Like it's, even if it's the person that you're dating in the physical realm, or like whoever it is, like like your spirit will know and differentiate like this person, even though I do love you in my physical life, like spiritually, they can also disguise themselves as, you know, the person you love. And that same thing goes for sexual dreams, right? When they're trying to be sexual with you, but especially when they try to marry you. See, now that's like signing a contract on the spiritual realm. So it's almost like they have like a, what is it? They have like, I guess the possessiveness of, you know, like they can take you now because like you're theirs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you signed that, you said yes to them. So now
it's a soul contract.
They have you. Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, guys, I lost the word. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So if you have marriage dreams, be very cautious of that. And same with the sexual dreams, because these things are just trying to manipulate you and try to like, you know, just drain your own energy. Like sexual dreams, like it's all about draining energy too.
It's really tricky because, like, especially when you have reoccurring dreams of like marriage or like some sort of like lover that really likes you and wants to like propose to you or like make you theirs, like that's actually not the person that you think it is.
Exactly.
And it's really like you really have to use your discernment, you know, in your dreams. It's about like being conscious in your dreams. And like a lot of people talk about like how do you do that, right? That's almost considered lucid dreaming.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of self-awareness to like be able to like, okay, like sense the energies of like, okay, even though this person or this thing is disguised as the person I trust, how is their energy feeling? Does it feel off? Is this normal? Because you can kind of sense it if you really tune in. And when you are in that phase, you have to kind of like snap yourself like, oh hey, like I'm in a dream. Like I'm not going to like say yes, and I'm not going to allow anyone to like have permission over myself and like sign any contracts with people that you don't know, like unintentionally.
Right, exactly. It's really, I mean, and lucid dreaming is interesting because not a lot of people can do this, you know, but I do know some people who do. And it kind of depends also where you're sleeping too. Some like areas where you sleep, right? They say like camping or like going out into the like nature forest, like sleeping out there. The lands can be very spiritual. The lands can be like a lot of spiritual energy or things that are like can allow you to float a lot higher where you are now lucid dreaming and you're conscious of like what's happening. Or you could just simply be in your bed and have a lucid dream. And it's interesting because with lucid dreams for me, I actually get kind of nervous when I'm lucid. I'm like, oh shoot, I have control. Like I can make anything appear. I can do anything I want. But where do I want to explore? You know, because the thing is that I think spiritually, for me personally, when I go over there and I'm lucid and I'm aware and conscious, I start walking, running around. But at the same time, I am kind of afraid of what I might come across. So I try not to do that yet. But then again, you have to, like I say, build your spiritual strength to not be afraid. But you have to realize that you're very vulnerable now because you're aware, conscious that you're there. So now that you're over there, what are you going to do, you know?
Yeah, I do lucid dream like quite often. I think it's something that it's like almost like a muscle too, like an ability where
Yes.
you have to strengthen it as you continue dreaming more often. If you don't dream often, then you probably won't be able to lucid dream as easily, but I've always been able to dream a lot. So over the years, I've built this muscle of like being conscious in my dreams, especially when like you said, these scary dreams as tests, right?
Right.
I think over the years, it comes to the point where it's like, okay, like I just want to fight back. You know, like if like I'm, you know, coming across like demons or like scary stuff or like running away or whatever it is, I'm like, okay, you know, like be conscious, like right now in this moment at least. It doesn't have to be throughout the whole dream, but for that one moment, I'll be like, okay, I'm conscious. I'm gonna fight back, or I'm gonna do whatever I need to like be safe.
Yeah, for sure. Which you can tell us a little more about your chasing and demon dreams.
Yeah, I feel like I grew up seeing and like dreaming about demons chasing me all the time, or like ghosts and spirits. And a lot of times like it's scary. It is like it feels very vivid and very real. And most of the time like it could be like, you know, maybe outside things that maybe you came across too, or like accidentally like they followed you home. But sometimes like your spirit guides, especially if you are on like a shaman journey, your spirit guides will test you to strengthen your abilities in the spiritual realm. And so for me, I think, I don't even know, like it just became so normal to the point where I'm like, okay, like you just start fighting back. I don't know how to describe it, but a lot of times it's like there's like, you know, you're just like running away, right? You're running away. There's things chasing you. There's demons coming after you. And it comes to a point where it's like, okay, like, am I going to keep running away from these demons? And sometimes if you don't have like spirit guides, like shaman guides, it could be running away from your inner demons, is what they say. Your inner demons, your fears. But when you finally stand up for yourself, you have the courage to like fight back or like, you know, kill whatever it is that's following you, that's when you finally pass the test. You completed that mission, like that test that they're testing you to like overcome. And so I don't know like when it all started, but for me, it's about using weapons.
Yeah, true.
For me, it's either like, I don't know, all of a sudden I have a knife in my hand and I'll
Yeah.
actually go after it and like try to kill it or like fight back. And like when you finally like kill it, like it's like you wake up. It's like, oh, completion. Or like my most recent one, like this is how you know you have like what's it called? Evoluted, like elevated or like you ascended in your spiritual journey.
Yeah.
You ascended is when you use different weapons. For me, I feel like back then I would use a lot of knives or like just literally whatever's closest to me. It'll be like a chair. Even I've used like chairs to like kind of like trap them too, like into a corner and stuff. Or like the best one that made me so happy when I woke up was a gun.
Yeah.
I've never used a gun in my life, but in my dream, I was in the back seat and I think it was like maybe like family members that were driving. Okay, like they were driving the car, I was in the back seat. And usually when it's like your family members, it's like your spirit guides. So my spirit guides, they were driving the car and I was in the back seat and like we're like, I don't know, it was some sort of mission of having to like kill like this bad person or like a spirit or entity or something. And I remember like it was almost like slow motion. It was so vivid. My spirit guides were driving and then like that person was literally right there. It was like slow motion driving past. I rolled down the window and like boom, I shot him right in the heart. Literally. And I was like, oh my God, I actually did that. I was like shook when I woke up because like after you kill that thing, it's literally like you just wake up or like it transitions to a different dream, you know?
Right.
I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I I elevated. I switched to like a gun. Like, where did this gun even come from?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm a sharpshooter. I'm an actual hitman. And that's where I say, like, I always say, I'm like, oh, I'm a demon slayer. You know, if you guys watch anime too, like Demon Slayer, it's so funny. But yeah, like being a demon slayer in the spiritual realm, that's what it's like. And once you're able to overcome that in your dreams, when you start like your spiritual journey, if that's an ability that you have, that's how you know you're going to be able to successfully kill demons and entities.
I remember like the first time that like we ever shared dreams together too, like since like we were 18 years old and we slept in the same room and Linda would always wake up like, oh my God, there was like something that was chasing after me. And I was like, what'd you do? And she's like, yeah, like I took a knife and like I stabbed it like 10 times. And then like I took like a chainsaw and then like I cut its head off. Like, I'm like, wow, that's insane.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's not something that you just learn overnight, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it took years of having to go through nightmares of like demons chasing after you and you just constantly chasing, running away from them and stuff. And it comes to a point where it's like, okay, like, I think it's like a mental strength too that you really have to like strengthen in the physical world, you know, like
for sure.
overcoming your fears. And when you overcome your fears, you overcome demons in your dreams too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So those are like really interesting. I have like a lot of stories of those. But yeah, like eventually it becomes normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So lately, I've been having a lot of traveling dreams, and I never knew how like this was connecting to like my spiritual journey, you know, but I guess like I know like on the other side that I am a traveler. I travel a lot of realms, and specifically this year I have never traveled to this many different countries or states in my life, really. In my dreams, guys. But I actually had a very interesting dream that I wanted to share, which is when I had a dream that I was on this island riding like this bike, and as I was like going and going and going, I kind of lost control, and which also means that it could mean physically I also have lost control in my own current life as well. But I ended up in like this big, huge ocean, and I remember that I drowned there, or I was in the water and I was like trying to swim back up, but I realized that, you know, I was talking to somebody. And another thing that's really cool is I was able to figure out who my spirit guides are, who my ancestors are, as well as like maybe even shaman guides too, where I can differentiate who is who based on family members. And specifically this person that I saw, he was like a spirit guide, and he's a protective spirit guide. And he was there with me. He was kind of floating, watching me. And I looked at him and I said, what are you doing? Like, you need to help me. Like, you need to go tell my family that I'm here, tell them that my body's here, and like tell them that like they need to come and find me. And I remember he just looked at me and he was like confused, like he didn't know like what to do. And I was getting frustrated. I was like, why are you not like, you're not doing anything, you know? And then like, I remember that I had already died because I was like floating around. And I remember I was floating in that ocean thinking like, I'm going to wait. I'm waiting here. I'm waiting for my mom and dad to come and get me because like I need justice, you know, like my body's in this huge, large body of water and nobody's going to find me. Like no one's going to find me here. And I remember that I was like floating around there and I kept asking the spirit guide, like, why haven't you told anyone? And eventually, whatever, I woke up. There's probably more to the dream, but that was like important parts. And I had gotten this interpretation where this was earlier in the year too, when I realized that, you know, as you know, their mother, I have to tell my spirit guides how to take me back home from these dreams because they're taking me very far, like to travel. And that was a big lesson for me because I had to learn how to say, like, hey, you know, when you take me to go dream, I need you guys to, you know, call my spirit back home and bring me home too. Like once, you know, it's like they say there's like a portal, like an opening when you can really come back, right? And that was like a lesson because like my spirit guide was watching, like, I don't know what to do because you didn't tell me what to do, you know, like you didn't tell me like how to help you. And that was like something like I really had to pray upon, like literally the next day and tell them that because I was realizing that after that dream, then I was another dream in Hawaii, another dream in Egypt, another dream in like Arabian countries, Mexico, Barcelona. Like I was in so many places, you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh my God, every night I'm going so far. Like, and I realized another thing that was really cool with this is that around the world, there's a lot of war happening. There's a lot of like spiritual war as well as physical war, okay? And sometimes your spirit guides will take you to where these wars are happening. They'll take you to where like there's a lot of like sadness, grief, or pain, like suffering in certain countries, you know, even if that's not even your, you know, your own country, you know what I mean? Like they take you to these places to show you that like, hey, spiritually, we need you to like kind of astral travel and like help some spirits here, like human people here, to be a little bit like lighthearted or to help them, you know, because they're going through a lot. And I think like one thing about me too is like I'm really all about like the collective world, and I like to do like worldly things. Like I'm like I want to like actually help the world, you know. And that's why I was like, if I can't do that physically right now, like at least spiritually, I realized that that's where they were taking me. Like I was like, why am I going to so many different countries and they're showing me spiritual rituals, they're showing me all these things, you know, and like what's happening here, there's like bad things happening. And I realized that, you know, sometimes your spirit guides will do that. They'll take you places to see things, and they'll take you to travel far, and also to learn how to make sure that you're coming back as well. So that's like something that's been interesting for me, as far as like the traveling. And also another cool thing, the only way that I'm actually able to travel is with my dragon as well as my eagle, right? We talk about spirit animals. I honestly don't think that I could go as far as if it wasn't for them, because I feel like I have felt them and I've seen them. So to me, it's like if I don't have this animal who can literally fly and like take you places, right? Like, of course, like you could just dream, like you could see yourself somewhere, but like, how do I know that I'm specifically in Egypt right now? You know what I mean? But it's like, I've been told too, you know, it's like, oh, well, your dragon's definitely very active and it's taking you places. So I'm like, I love that because I'm like, well, I'm a very airy person. So I love to like fly and astral travel a lot too. And, I just like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a very familiar thing to me, and it helps me in my dream realm, you know? So that's like something that's been coming up for me, is those traveling dreams, you know? Like how do you go that far? And when you do go that far, teach your guides, right, how to like take you back home, because you're astral, you're literally in the spirit world. Like you have to come back physically, right?
Yeah.
So
That's true. A lot of times they say that when you have a lot of dreams that you're flying, going to a lot of different places like that, like you said, your spirit guides are taking you there, but you have some sort of spirit animal that can fly. It could be a dragon, a bird, a phoenix, an eagle, an owl, like anything that can fly. Those are like your guides that take you with them. And whether you're on their back or like, they're carrying you, that's how you're able to see yourself flying in those dreams.
Exactly.
And a lot of times they do say too that if you have a lot of flying dreams, most likely you are gifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love flying. I always say that I want that to be my ability if I could have it.
Well, if you can, then that already is.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So we can kind of go into more like spiritual dreams in general, like dreams where you can kind of like tell it has more to with the spiritual side. So for me, school is a big one.
Yeah.
I know like I had a bunch of dreams like throughout the years of like going to like elementary school and then going to middle school and then high school and then graduating and then going back to school again, almost like a secondary, post-secondary school.
Yeah.
And they say that, when you have a lot of these type of dreams, it could be one, either like you're actually like learning new things in the physical world, you're gonna maybe go back to school, or it could be like spiritual school.
Yeah.
So your spirit guides are actually taking you on the other side to school to learn more like abilities or like knowledge that will help you in your spiritual journey. Sometimes you may even come across going to libraries.
Yeah.
So in libraries, this is the spiritual library on the spiritual side, and if you see yourself going to go grab your books, you're actually bringing back your book of knowledge that will help you expand on your spiritual journey. And a lot of times they say like when you have these, like don't tell people about it, because like other spirits might be listening or like trying to like take it from you, or like these things that you have. So it is something you want to be cautious about too. If you have these type of dreams, just kind of stay quiet about it. If you do have those dreams, and that's great, that just means you're evolving. Yeah. And some people do say like the library is considered the Akashic records too. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like if you go to a library and you can lucid dream, you could possibly even read your own book, like your whole life story.
It's really interesting because actually just recently I did have a dream that I went to school with you.
Oh.
Like a lot of times we're in school together, which is really cool. But yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's just really cool how things play out like that. Like even if you're kind of like writing things down, or you're, I've had a few dreams where like I'm writing things down, but it's like sometimes it's so hard to remember like what you're actually writing down. Because I've had this dream too with like a spiritual dream again, right? Where it's like I was in a family meeting with my family, and like there was like a whole like slideshow presentation. And it's like I'm not in school, but I'm with my family and we're doing a presentation. Okay, like whatever, take down notes, what's happening, right? And it's interesting because these types of dreams, they could be telling you something because it's connected to my family. They could be telling you like, hey, like just be cautious of this thing. This might be connected to your dad. This might be connected to your mom or your brother or whoever, right? And I've had those dreams where like I'm like literally taking notes. Like I literally have like a hood over me, and I'm very protective of my notes, and I'm like writing everything down. Like everything that I can hear, I'm writing it down. And in this dream specifically, I actually, at the same time, there was a ritual going on. And this ritual I've never seen before. I probably made it up, honestly, in my dream. I don't even know what it is, but I saw a shaman in my dream too. And in this dream, there was like a bunch of candle lighting, like 20 candles on one table. And you light each candle, and it's like, it will tell you like if a question is true or false or something, pretty much. And anyways, I was like, oh my God, like, okay, like, how come I haven't gotten to ask a question? I didn't ask any questions, honestly. I was just listening and I was taking down notes. But when I actually got a dream interpretation for that, it was interesting because it was actually a spirit guide council meeting. And this council meeting was important because they're giving me almost like premonitions. So a lot of your dreams, when we say premonitions, we say predicting what might happen in the future, right? So it's like you're already seeing. That's why sometimes we have deja vu, because we've seen things in our dreams that might happen in our physical life eventually later in the future. And I have a lot of premonition dreams, specifically this year, I would say. And with these dreams, like, I was like, okay, interesting. I've never seen this ritual before. But as I'm taking down my notes, I'm taking down notes about, okay, like, I need to be cautious of something in the future that might happen to this specific person that I was taking notes on, you know? And that's at the same time, you're trying to be like, it's like, to be honest, I don't really think that I'm lucid in these dreams. I think I'm just doing stuff, and then when I wake up, I just remember everything. It's really weird. But and it's kind of cool too that you're able to do that. But yeah, I don't know. And with the candle ritual was interesting, because I had found out that, oh cool, I can do like something called candle readings, which I've never looked into before, you know what I mean? But I was like, okay, cool, like it's like a new ability unlocked. Like, cool, that came through, you know? Yeah. So like spiritually, like you can have a lot of different abilities come through, like your shaman clothes, your, you know, shaman tools, like certain things that you could see. You could dream about your sifu, right, your master. Anything that like is just significant, you know, like not just your school and your books, but almost like all the tools that you need.
Yeah, like if that's, you know, your calling to become like a healer, spiritual healer, shaman, medium, whatever it is, and you have tools on the spiritual side, you will dream about them and you'll see what they look like, or it'll be like someone giving it to you, or you're going to go find them yourself. That means that you are going to possess those gifts in this lifetime. And a lot of times they say, if you remember exactly what it looks like, that is the one for you to go find what it is, like exactly like that, or like your outfit to your shaman outfit, right? We have a bunch of different outfits, but a lot of times they say like you want to make your outfit exactly like how you saw it, because it's going to give you like a higher vibration, so you are in alignment with like how you are on the spiritual side too. Yeah, a lot of like times our spirit guides, they come into our dreams to give us like tips, advice, and guidance too. So a recent dream I had not too long ago was actually, I had a dream about like a shaman, and she's a shaman that I do know, and she's my mentor now. And she had told me, I remember like we were outside by like a fence, and while she was talking to me, I was having like visions as like she was talking. And she was telling me, she's like, yeah, like when you go out to places and you go outside, make sure you don't take all your spirit guides with you. Leave some of them at home. It's kind of like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And then I woke up from that dream and I was like, is that actually a thing? Like, is that real, you know? And so actually, like, I messaged her because it was her that told me. And so she actually confirmed with me. She's like, yes, that was either me or your spirit guides that came to tell you that do not take all your spirit guides with you. Leave some at home or on your altar as a form of protection or like backup. So that when you go out to places and you need to call up for backup, they're there. Or like if there's any intruders that try to come to your home, they're there to protect you. And so that was one thing that was a very like direct message that my spirit guides had given me. And it was like almost like a light bulb moment where I'm like, oh wow, like that's something that they're teaching me to do from now on.
Yeah, no, that's really important. Honestly. And that's something like, you know, with your spirit guides, you have to also teach them that too, as their mother.
You are like the mother, you are the vessel, you are the leader, so they follow whatever you tell them to do. And that's, you know, part of your spiritual journey. You don't want to just like listen to everything they tell you what to do. Like, of course they're gonna always want what's best for you, but especially when you haven't like fully gotten there yet, they say that you're not fully filtered. So there could be like, you know, other spirit guides that come with your spirit guides. So there's like a yin and yang, right, with spiritual duality. As much good guides as you have just as much bad guides. So you need to know how to filter yourself and like, you know, take those out so that you're not, you know, following the wrong like advice or lessons too. And they say that detoxing really helps with filtering this process.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the final thing really that is left is like, we're at the end of the year. There's a lot of ancestral spirits, right, that are if you know, of course, in the Hmong culture, right, where we have like our end of the year where we send money to them, and sometimes ancestors, they can be in trouble, by the end of the year, but
in need of money or
yeah.
food. A lot of times that's why the Asian communities, we celebrate New Year's, right? Like we provide offerings and like food and gifts to our ancestors and our
Yes.
spirit guides. And they look forward to these events.
Yes.
It's a huge celebration for them.
For sure. And I mean, honestly, for me, I don't know if maybe some of you guys have had dreams like this before too, but about maybe last year, I was having like crazy dreams about like joss paper, feast, food, family, like, and just wondering like, what is all of this, like, and it was like repeated. I mean, it's good dreams, but you look at it and you're like, what is all of this, like, and you don't realize that, oh, they're waiting, like they're ready for like the New Year's. And another thing is like, I feel like sometimes like you can kind of see, because my ancestors in my dreams are like sometimes my cousins, like they come in the form of my cousins, and I can tell because like they send me messages and they tell me certain things, and I'm like, oh, why do I trust this person so much, and it's just connected. You just have to really like know and differentiate like who is who in your dream, because they come as in disguise of like whoever you truly like love and trust, and I feel like with like these types of dreams, it's just interesting because recently I did actually, I don't even know, this might have just been yesterday night, literally, had a dream that I was already at my Vang New Year, and there were so many like family members, like aunties, uncles, like food, like celebration, dancing, and I was like, what is that? Like, I was actually really thinking, and I was like, oh, it's them, like maybe they're happy right now. Maybe they're excited,
Yeah.
excited for what's to come. So, I mean, a lot of times, like these ancestors, right, we call them, is like they're trying to send you signals or signs or things that you might need to do. Or whether or not, like at the same time, they might not even be happy. Sometimes they might show you that, hey, like my house is broken, or like something is happening and like we need your help. And truly, you don't got to go so deep in depth into that stuff, but at the same time, like it's really good to like kind of renew that every single year for them, and that's kind of what we do and what we believe in our Hmong culture. So yeah, it's very interesting how these spiritual dreams can really tie into us physical people as healers and messages. A lot of people, they don't dream a lot too. I've had people actually ask me, because I don't dream, does that mean that like, I'm a bad person or I'm not good enough to like receive messages? I'm like, no, you just got to meditate more.
Yeah. And a lot of times it probably just means your third eye is not opened yet, like it's still working. Or like maybe you just need to detox too.
Yes.
If you want to dream more, like detoxing will really help you. And also they say decalcifying your pineal gland.
Yeah.
So that's through like, taking like detoxes that can help clear that, cutting out fluoride.
Yes.
Some people even take shilajit, which
Yes.
is like a resin, a live resin that helps to decalcify, all those hard, heavy metals and like minerals that you take in through like the water we drink and like the environment that we're in.
I take shilajit every single day, guys. It's something to invest in, of course, but at the same time, it's a lifestyle now, because like even fluoride too, they say it lowers that pineal gland. You have to change the toothpaste that you're putting into your teeth every single day.
And it's ironic because our city water is literally filled with fluoride too.
Yeah, don't drink that, guys.
Yeah,
there's
don't drink
more
tap
to
water.
it.
Tap
there's
water
way
is
more.
not good for you. We could definitely go into another episode on that. Holistic living. But
Yes.
Yeah, but that's basically dreams, you know, like lots of different type of dream interpretations, but we can go on and on about this all night.
Yeah.
This is just like a little bit of like what we experience for ourselves, and maybe you can take some of these as dream interpretations that you can use for yourself too.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening. As always, like, subscribe, and follow us on our social media pages.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.